We started our Mesa location 2 years ago. We started it with 0 clients and 0 team. Katie started out cleaning, and I started out alone in the office. And 20 months later, that business hit its first $92,000 month without Katie cleaning or either of us hiring or selling.
And today, we're actually breaking down exactly how that happened.
And the reason why most cleaning business owners struggle is because they avoid hiring the right people too late and end up hiring the wrong people too early.
How soon should you actually hire office staff in your cleaning business?
Yesterday.
What? I thought you just said people hire too early. Isn't yesterday really early?
It depends on what type of office person you hire. And today we're going to share what type of office person to hire today and what type of office person to be patient on.
Welcome to the road to $1 million. If you are a residential cleaning business owner who wants to build $1 million business and your business still depends on you to either clean, sell, or hire, the show is for you.
I'm Logan. That was Katie. And together we've grown our residential cleaning business from 0 to over $3 million in under 5 years. And it wasn't because we did everything ourselves. It's because we learned what to do and who to delegate it to.
So what exactly are we covering today, Logan?
The sexiest, most unsexy system of them all, the delegation system.
The outcome of this system is absolutely sexy. Having the freedom to do what you want, when you want, I would define that as sexy. The hard work required to get the sexy outcome, however, is extremely boring, but 100% necessary.
We're going to break down the delegation system into 3 playbooks. Playbook number 1 is the first office hire for any cleaning business, and it costs $100 a week. And it will provide the business owner 40 hours of their time back. Playbook number 2 is the not so secret of how to build a dream team. One that acts as if you, the owner, is in the room, even when you aren't. And playbook number 3 is how to hire an office manager do's and do nots. Because this hire can give you the freedom or can be your biggest nightmare.
And by the end of this, you'll know exactly who your first office hire should be, who your last office hire should be, and what is required for your business to grow without you cleaning, selling, or hiring.
When we started our Mesa location, you were cleaning and I was the sole person in the office. So it was my job to find new clients, support the existing clients, hire new cleaners, support the existing cleaners, payroll, marketing, data, invoicing. Am I missing anything?
I think you got it all, but that's a lot for one person to handle.
Cleaning business owners know exactly what I was going through. Constantly being pinged in every direction all day long, and sometimes even into the night.
So how do you even begin to solve this problem?
James. The first person I hired to help me in Mesa was James. And he's actually on our team today. James is a virtual assistant from the Philippines.
When did you bring him on?
I was about a week in because I thought for a moment I could do it myself, but I was wrong. James helped take so many of those tasks off my to-do list.
And when was your next office hire?
It was a couple months in, and it was you. You were too valuable to stay in the field cleaning.
My goal was to train a minimum of 2 cleaners to become trainers, and that would allow me to get out of the cleaning field, and I was able to accomplish that within about 3 months.
That was what was required in order for you to get out of the field, is you must replace yourself in the field first.
And who was the next office hire?
The next office hire was me.
Okay, what do you mean?
Katie, both you and I are employees of our business. Once we decided to actually treat ourselves like employees, it was for us to think about it that if we eventually were going to hire an office manager, then we needed to be able to create what an office manager playbook actually looked like.
This actually takes a lot of discipline to do.
The goal was not just to do the job, but it was actually to grow the business while doing the job.
It's definitely one thing to do all the tasks of the job, It's another thing to do them so well that the business actually grows.
We ended up growing our Mesa location from 0 to $37,000 in 6 months. And that is when we hired our first office manager.
And did you and I, at that point, when we hired that office manager, just stop working?
Of course not. It doesn't work like that. However, we were no longer the sole responsibility for selling or hiring or even cleaning for that matter, which helped us focus on our next most valuable skill.
And what was that skill?
Delegating.
How do you know if you are being successful at delegating?
The business grows without you cleaning, selling, or hiring. And after 14 months of you and I delegating, the cleaning, the sales, and the hiring, our Mesa location hit $92,000 a month.
I think there's one really important distinction right here. There's a difference between tasking and delegating. And this distinction is what keeps most cleaning businesses from growing.
And I'm going to explain the difference between tasking and delegating when we get into playbook number 3.
Let's start with playbook number 1, the Virtual Assistant Playbook. How did we develop this system?
Do you remember Courtney?
Yes, she was the assistant for the gym.
She was a crusher, genuinely really good. But I'd already given her 2 raises, and she asked for a 3rd raise within her first year of employment.
I remember her conviction being so high, and every time she asked, I was just like floored that she kept asking. But absolutely, I remember all of those asks.
On the 3rd time, I was like, your current role it doesn't support any more compensation.
Yeah, she didn't love that answer, did she?
No, she told me she had to go find another job that could pay her more. And I was just sharing this with one of my buddies named Chad, who was also a gym owner. And he goes, why don't you just replace her with a VA?
Do you even know what VA meant or what a VA was?
I had no idea what he was talking about.
For anyone else who doesn't know what a VA is, it stands for Virtual Assistant. And virtual assistants tend to be virtual, oftentimes located in different countries, such as the Philippines.
And so Chad, he sent me this course that he had bought on hiring a VA, and he said, go check it out. I logged in with very low expectations, and within about an hour, I had finished the entire thing. And the first thing I did, I sent Chad a message, and I said, send me your Venmo.
Why would you ask him for his Venmo?
I had to pay him $100 that he paid for that course because it was so freaking good. Within a couple days, I was able to hire our very first virtual assistant. This was for our gym at the time, but eventually she became our first virtual assistant in our Bozeman 5-star cleaning location as well.
That was Jaya. She is amazing. She has now been with us for almost 6 years, and Jaya is actually the current manager of all of our virtual assistants.
Such a freaking stud.
All right, let's get into this virtual assistant playbook.
There are 5 steps to actually hire a virtual assistant. Step number 1, where do we find them? We actually use a site called Online Jobs PH. It's like the Indeed, but for Filipino virtual assistants. Step number 2 is we most actually post a job ad. So our job title is very simple, virtual assistant. Our job pay, it starts at $400 a month in salary. And then we write out our role, responsibilities, and requirements for the virtual assistant position. And then we start getting applicants. Step number 3 is to interview these applicants. And so we do a combination of email interviewing to filter out the candidates. We finish the process off by doing a Zoom interview.
On this Zoom interview, we get an opportunity to actually test their English fluency. I love to jump into a quick role play, and I pretend like I'm a client with a complaint. And I just see how they respond, how well their English is, how service-based they are. And then we also give them an opportunity to test their written fluency. So I drop a message in the Zoom chat on the interview, and we role play a text communication thread as well. And we get to see how well they speak and write on the fly.
And then let's say we actually like them. Then step number 4 is we actually send them a job offer. And the job offer outlines how the pay works, when they get paid, the holidays they get paid for, and who they report to. And then if they accept that job, then we have step number 5, which is onboarding. And during the onboarding is where we actually get them into our systems and softwares. We get them set up for payroll, and we get them access to their duty sheet so they actually can start learning the task they're going to start doing for the business.
But why are virtual assistants valuable?
First off, they're so loyal. And if you guys value loyalty, like I do, someone like Jaya has been on our team for almost 6 years. And James has been with us for over 3 years. The second reason why they're so valuable is because they're eager to serve. As an example, on their birthdays, instead of receiving gifts, they give gifts. And the reason number 3 why virtual assistants are so valuable is that they're just so willing to learn. Every time that I give one of our VAs a new tasks, they are so appreciative. And in fact, the common complaint I get from most of our VAs is like, I want more. Can I get more, sir? Another reason that makes them really valuable is the currency exchange rate between America and the Philippines is a win-win for both parties.
What do you mean?
Our normal VAs start out at around $400 a month, which breaks to about $100 a week.
And is that too low of a wage?
For an American, it would be, because our cost of living is much higher than $100 a week. However, living in the Philippines is much lower, and they often make more working for us as a foreign employer than they would for a local job in the Philippines.
They get the opportunity to actually work from home, which is highly sought after in the Philippines.
The transportation infrastructure, it can be challenging on many parts of the islands.
So if a virtual assistant can give 40 hours of time back to cleaning business owners for $100 a week, why wouldn't someone hire them today?
The only reason isn't logical. It's the emotion of the fear of doing something for the first time, which in business, you have to do a lot of things for the first time. I have never had someone regret hiring a virtual assistant.
I have not regretted hiring a single one either. We currently have 12 full-time virtual assistants on our team.
I don't need to convince anyone with my words on my positioning with virtual assistants. Just watch my actions, see how many VAs that I have hired and continue to hire.
All right, let's talk about playbook number 2, which is the Dream Team Playbook. What is a Dream Team?
So this is where we begin to see the distinction between tasking and delegating. But the root of these two outcomes, it isn't in the people who get hired. It's in the person doing the hiring.
I'm so excited to uncover tasking and delegating. Explain this, please.
Kitty, do you understand the relationship between freedom and control?
Yeah, I believe so, but tell me.
Freedom and control, think of them like being on a teeter-totter. You can never be on the ground and in the air at the same time. And you can never have 100% control while also maintaining 100% freedom at the same time.
I love the concept of a teeter-totter. That explains it.
And so, Kitty, tell me, what do you value more, freedom or control?
Yeah, no brainer for me, freedom for sure.
I think most people would say that. However, sometimes, oblivious to them, their actions are not aligned with their words, which is why so few people actually experience freedom.
Can you give me an example?
So, Katie, have you ever been on a coaching call with a fellow cleaning business owner and you're going over their data sheet and they spotted a mistake on their sheet?
Yes, lots of times.
How do the cleaning business owners handle these mistakes?
Some of them fix that mistake themselves while they're on the call. They just go and edit the cell. And some of them just notate it so that they can actually let their VA know so the VA can fix it.
And so which owners do you think value freedom versus control?
The ones who fix the mistake themselves value control, even though they may verbalize they value freedom. But the ones who truly value freedom are okay with the mistake and okay teaching the person how to fix the mistake. So that way it decreases the probability that it will happen again.
Exactly. And so people who value control hate one of the people's mistakes. It's not necessarily they hate the people, they just hate the mistake. They hate it so much that they go fix it right away because you got to be in control. But people who are consciously able to value freedom realize mistakes is how we learn. So when they see one, they smile and they're quick to point it out to the person who needs to learn how to fix the mistake. And if you want a dream team, you want people to fix their own mistakes.
Is the only way to build a dream team To give up control?
To some degree. But remember, it's like a teeter-totter. It doesn't need to be 100% freedom or 100% control. You can start out by giving 25% freedom and keep 75% control. And the more trust that someone earns, the more freedom they get. And if you want your team to be an extension of you when you're not around, it's more likely to happen if they have the freedom to act like that rather than feeling like they're being controlled to act like you.
So, how do we strategically create a dream team?
Have you ever seen those bracelets that say WWJD?
Yeah, what would Jesus do?
That is a mission statement for many Christians. And so our mission statement for our cleaning business is to deliver a 5-star experience. It's through that filter that every decision is made through. And it also guides the creation of our company values and our company standards.
What are values?
Values are the personality traits of the people we want on our team.
Can you explain that a little bit further?
For example, our values for the people on our team, we break them down into an easy to remember acronym, STAR. The S in STAR stands for serve. The T stands for teamwork. The A stands for accountable, and the R stands for reliable. We label the people on our team stars.
What about standards?
Standards are the behaviors of the people that we want on our team.
What are our standards?
We actually have cleaner standards, and the cleaner standards are show up 5 minutes before scheduled appointments, greet the client with a smile, remove the dirt with a checklist, and complete a final walkthrough to ensure clients are happy. Those are our 4 cleaner standards.
And then for the office, do we also have office standards?
Yes. First standard for the office is the courage to commit. The second one is the humility to learn. The third one, the conviction to sell. And the fourth one is the self-control to follow the plan.
So how do we actually use the mission, the values, and the standards to build a dream team culture?
The job of the owner is to create the culture by living the culture and then growing the culture.
What do you mean exactly by living the culture, growing the culture, creating the culture?
It's one thing to have your mission, values, and standards on a wall or on your slideshow that you present to your team every single week. It's another thing to be a walking, breathing example of the culture. And if you are not convicted in the culture, it's pretty hard to sell your team on the culture.
And what happens when someone on your team isn't a culture fit?
This is where the one-on-one framework becomes so valuable. It becomes the foundation of growing this teammate up to meet the values or the standards, or to align their actions with the mission, or to grow them out.
When we approach them about growing them up or growing them out, giving them the choice and being okay if the teammates actually don't want to grow up to meet that standard and they prefer to grow out.
Not everyone wants to grow, and that's totally okay, but you just can't be on this team anymore.
I used to actually truly believe that a strong culture was like a magical thing and only magical people could create magical cultures. And then the evolution over the last 5 years, the reality is that it's just super boring work repeated, especially when it becomes inconvenient. But if you can stick to that boring work and repeat it, it's the unlock to a dream team.
Building a dream team happens on purpose, and happens when your team aligns their actions with the mission, values, and standards.
Let's talk about playbook number 3 of the delegation system. This is the Office Manager Playbook.
This is our last hire. This is one we got to be patient on, but it is the most life-changing as well.
If it is so life-changing, why does it have to be last?
Katie, how much do you actually know about NASCAR?
Not much, but it's car racing and they are on a track and they drive in a circle and they drive very fast.
And so do you think NASCAR drivers have a pretty good life?
Yeah, I'm sure they're doing well financially and I know that they enjoy what they do.
So would you allow our 16-year-old daughter, Kobe, to go NASCAR racing?
Absolutely not.
Why?
First off, she would probably get hurt because she's not trained in driving that fast. She'd be like the slowest one on the track and she'd probably get embarrassed.
Embarrassed of what?
She doesn't have the skills required to race against professional drivers.
And that is why it's important to wait to hire an office manager. It's both dangerous financially And the embarrassment of not having the skill to be successful in hiring an office manager, it's what keeps someone from believing that it's actually possible to experience true freedom of your business growing without you.
How do we solve these problems?
I have 2 milestones that I have observed in our businesses and the people who have coached that are the milestones that increase probability that somebody can actually hire an office manager and then be able to grow the business without the owner having to jump back in and continue to either work or have to eventually fire this office manager.
What are those milestones?
Yeah, the first milestone is $60,000 a month in revenue.
Why 60,000 a month?
It's evidence. It's proof that the business owner has the skill to grow their business.
That makes sense because that's the skill that they're going to teach the next person. And then what about the second milestone?
The second milestone is 6 months of expenses in cash.
Why 6 months of expenses?
Because the business owner doesn't have the experience in hiring an office manager. Kind of like how our little starter Kobe doesn't have experience driving really fast cars, which means their skill in teaching will be very low, just like Kobe's skill in racing, also very low. And because office managers are not revenue producing, this increases the probability that cash flow will decrease. And it did for us in our Mesa location, which is why I suggest having 6 months of cash in the bank as a security measure before hiring an office manager.
What if somebody has reached $60,000 a month but doesn't have 6 months of their personal expenses saved?
It's the business owner's decision. You can do whatever you want with your business. However, I will tell you this, that if you're making $6,000 a month and it's just you and a VA or 2, you can save up 6 months of expenses pretty dang fast if you have the discipline to stack that cash rather than go spending it on things that won't make you more money.
Okay, so once someone has $60,000 a month in revenue and has 6 months of expenses saved, then they should hire an office manager, correct?
Well, those are the minimum requirements, but it doesn't mean you have to. We have cleaning business owners in our community that are doing $70,000, $80,000 a month with just them and a VA. And by the way, they're stacking some freaking cash. I have cleaning business owners who send me screenshots of their cash, like $50,000, $100,000. I've even got screenshots of $200,000 in cash.
That is so freaking cool.
Everybody wants the time freedom, but go get you some financial freedom first.
On the note of money, how much do you pay an office manager?
We allocate 6% of wages to an office manager. If we use that example at $60,000 a month, you take 60,000 times 6% means you have room to pay that person $3,600 a month, which breaks out to $900 a week. Or if you're patient and you wait till you're doing $83,000 a month, that same 6% now can pay that office manager $5,000 a month, which is $1,250 a week.
I have another question. So do you want this person to come with management experience, or are you okay with no experience at all?
I don't find experience valuable. I do find skills valuable. But what I see is even more valuable, high will.
What do you mean by high will?
Have you ever given Kobe, our oldest daughter, unsolicited advice, and her response was, "I know, Mom."
Of course, yes.
"I know" is a trigger for low will to learn or receive feedback. And so I want to avoid the "I know" people. So if I go back to our office standards, number 2 is the humility to learn. So what I want is someone who wants to learn and who wants feedback. And I label that high will, and I find that to be the most valuable asset in hiring an office manager.
How do you train someone who has low skill?
So someone who's got low skill, but they have high will, this is exactly how we grew Mesa, our second location. We use the same formula that we use in our reliable hiring system for cleaners. Do it for them, do it with them, have them do it on their own. Our office manager that we hired in Mesa, her name is Keziah, and she sat next to you and I, Katie, and she literally watched us grow the business. Then we started letting her start to work with us, and then we were giving her feedback, which she took very well. And then eventually, we gave up all control of everything in the office, including hiring and selling. And we said, "Keziah, this is yours."
And this increased our teeter-totter height for freedom.
Yeah, we gave up all control, which gave us all the freedom. And I told Keziah right from the beginning, I said, you become more valuable the less you, Keziah, and the business entirely needs both Katie and Logan.
So this is what you were talking about in the very beginning about the difference between tasking versus delegating.
Tasking is giving somebody a job. Delegating is giving them the outcome.
Ownership of the outcome is delegating. Let's recap everything. So playbook number 1 of the delegation system is the Virtual Assistant Playbook. This playbook explains how to hire your first virtual assistant and shows you where to find VAs, how to post a job, how to interview them, how to offer the job, and how to onboard them.
Exactly.
Playbook number 2 of the delegation system is the Dream Team Playbook. So this playbook actually helps explain how to build your dream team, which does not happen by accident. It's by consistent, repetitive, especially when inconvenient, boring work. This requires business owners to live, breathe, and hold themselves and then their team to the mission, values, and standards.
Spot on.
And playbook number 3 of the delegation system is the Office Manager Playbook. So this playbook explains when to hire an office manager, who to hire, and how to teach them to grow the business without the owner being involved.
Virtual Assistant Playbook, the Dream Team Playbook, the Office Manager Playbook. That's a delegation system that provides the freedom to do what you want when you want.
This is how we were able to grow our first location in Bozeman, Montana in less than 3 years to over $83,000 a month without us cleaning, selling, or hiring. And it also allowed us that opportunity to start our second location and move to Mesa, Arizona. That location got over $83,000 a month in less than 2 years without us cleaning, selling, or hiring. And that gave us an opportunity to actually focus on growing our third location in Sacramento, California, which is currently at $65,000 a month without us cleaning, selling, or hiring.
And it's because of this delegation system that you and I are also able to help hundreds of other cleaning business owners install this delegation system into their businesses. Can I share just a couple examples of other people who are using this system?
Yeah.
Someone like Erin, when she joined our coaching program, her monthly revenue was at $25,000 a month. She had 1 office staff, and she was hiring. 1 year later, her business is doing $79,000 a month. She's got 5 office staff, and she is doing no cleaning, no selling, no hiring. Kayla, when she joined the mentorship, she was actually doing 0. She didn't have a business when she joined. So she had 0 office staff. She started out by doing all of them. And now, a little over a year later, her monthly revenue is over $50,000 a month. She's got 1 VA and 2 office staff, and she is only selling. She does a VA who does the hiring and no cleaning at all. And then Kristen, she joined the coaching program. Her business was doing $12,000 a month. She had 0 office staff. She was selling, hiring, and cleaning. Over a year later, her monthly revenue is $72 a month. She's got 3 VAs now, and she is still selling and hiring, but no cleaning. And then we have Jessica. When she started in the program, her monthly revenue was $13,000 a month. She had 0 office staff, and she was selling and hiring, not cleaning though. And now she's been with us for a little over 2 years, and now her monthly revenue, $113,000.
Just adding $100,000 a month.
She got 6 office staff, 2 office staff and 4 VAs, and she doesn't clean, sell, or hire. Her job is just to lead the company. And then I'll give you one more. Julia joined with no business as well, so no monthly revenue, no office staff. She started out by cleaning, selling, and hiring, and almost 2 years later, her business does $122,000 a month. She has 2 American office staff and 4 VAs. She doesn't clean, sell, or hire, and that's what's possible when you have a delegation system that actually works.
So if the client attraction system, the profitable conversion system, and reliable hiring system build million-dollar businesses, then it's the delegation system that keeps the business growing without the owner's day-to-day involvement. So Logan, tell us, how do cleaning business owners get their hands on these life-changing systems?
So for any cleaning business owners who want to build a million-dollar business without the business depending on them to clean, sell, or hire, we created the 30-day install program.
But only if you want to trade in control for freedom.
If you want your business to depend on systems rather than you, 30-day install is for you.
I'm firsthand experiencing this right now. It's amazing.
If you're interested, you can click the link to learn more about the 30-day install program. That's the delegation system, my friends.
Happy Money Monday, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us and for showing up.
Super appreciate y'all. Go get you some freedom.